For the Unit 5 review, it says number 1, match the following graphs to their solutions. So this should say 1 point each. For the first one, we have parallel lines that do not touch, so that means there would be no solution, letter C. In the second graph, we have just one line, which really means there's two lines right here, and every single point touches, which is many solutions, so that would be B. And then in the last graph, we have intersecting lines, so we meet at 1 point, and that would be one solution, A. In number 2, it says which graph represents the system below. So here, I would start looking at this positive 2 and see if any of the lines would go up 2, right 1. So here at 2, if I went up 2, right 1, we're not even on the line. So A is not a possibility. Here at positive 2, go up 2, right 1. Again, we're not on the line. C, we have 2, up 2, right 1. So that is the correct line. Let's try the second equation. So second equation says start at negative 2, but go down 3, right 1. So starting at negative 2, go down 3, right 1. And so we see we're on that line as well. So it has to be C. Okay? So 2C. And I just matched the graphs with the lines on the graph. For number 3, this one you have to decide what method you want to use for A, B, and C, and then you have to solve using that method. So for letter A, I would use substitution method because I have the y already by itself. In B, I would use the elimination method because my x's and my y's are already lined up. And in C, I would use the graphing method because I already have slope-intercept form here. This one I can put into slope-intercept form easily, and I have that fraction. So we would use the graphing method. So in this case, I would use the graph over here to help me with C. So going back up to A, if we need to, we can use this space over here. So for step 1, you want the equation that has y by itself. So that would be the first one. And we know that x plus 5 equals y. So in step 2, I use the other equation. And I plug this into y. So I have x minus 5, but then in parentheses, I have x plus 5 equals negative 9. So x comes down, I distribute the negative 5x, I distribute the negative 5 again, so negative 25 equals negative 9. So now I combine like terms, I get negative 4x minus 25 equals negative 9. So to solve the two-step, I would add 25. This gives me negative 4x equals 16. And then I can divide by negative 4, and that should give me negative 4. So I see that I can either have B or D as my solution. So step 3 says plug this x equals negative 4 back into step 1. So take that, plug it into x, and negative 4 plus 5 is 1. So my answer should be negative 4, 1, and that's B. Okay. In part B, I have to decide what to eliminate. So I would personally pick my y's because I have two negative 1s. And I want to make one of those a positive 1y. So I'm going to pick the bottom equation, and I'm going to multiply by -1, because negative times negative is a positive. So the top equation stays the same. Bottom equation, I multiply by -1. So I'm really just changing my signs. And then I'm combining, so 2 minus 5x is a -3x. My y's eliminate. And then 9 minus 3 is 6. So I need to divide by -3. And x is -2. So again, we either have B or D. So then I need to pick one of these equations to plug -2 into, and I think we should pick the top equation. So I've got 2x minus y equals -3. I'm going to plug -2 into x. This becomes -4 minus y equals -3. To solve for y, I need to add 4. So -y equals 1. And then divide by that -1. And y is -1. So my solution would be -2, -1, which is D.